In this video, we're going to show how we did a quick and easy printed circuit board. And of course, the first thing you've got to do is design your circuit. And there's plenty of software packages around to do this. And you can see on the screen there the circuit that we're trying to print. That's a proof that we do originally, so we can check to make sure everything looks okay. Then once we've done that, we get a piece of paper out of a glossy magazine. Any glossy magazine will do. And most laser printers, the toner, when it heats up, turns to plastic, and it'll imprint itself onto the glossy paper. Now the reason we do this is we want to be able to get that plastic toner separated off the glossy paper and onto our copper plate. And the thin magazine paper is a lot easier to get removed than photographic paper. So you can see there that we're cleaning the copper plate, give it a good old clean, get a bit of a shine on it. We're using some sort of a polish brass or what have you. And now we have to adhere the plastic from the toner onto the copper. So we're just using a ordinary old laminating machine that you can buy from post office or get from a used shop or what have you for maybe $20 or $30. We're running it through at least 5 times. We found that gives it a good pressing and a good heat up and melts the plastic off the paper and back onto the copper. So then the next thing you have to do is get that paper off the copper plate and just leave the plastic toner behind. And what we've done, we've just got an old coffee pot which came in hand. We got it at a junk shop, and it's a very handy way of mixing up some chemicals later on when we're going to dissolve the copper. But at the moment, just some warm dishwashing liquid. Place the copper with the paper on it and stir it up. I've sped the film up here a little bit. This took roughly 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe, and just make sure that you soak it good and proper, and the paper will eventually just start to lift at the corners, and this makes it very easy to peel off. I know a lot of people use photographic paper to do the printing and the adhering to the copper plate, but we found it's just way too thick and takes too long to get off. So just magazine paper works wonders. I never would have thought of doing it, but once I've seen the trick, that's the way to go. And you can see here that it's so thin that it comes off quite easily. And then you can get the board out and dry it off and get ready for the next process. Of course, have a good look at your board. Make sure that there's no gaps or obvious looming errors. But that board looks pretty damn neat and clean. So the next process is to prepare a sodium persulfate, and we're going to heat that water up to around about 70 degrees Celsius. And there's all sorts of ways you can measure this, the ratios of ammonium persulfate to water. You can go online, and I think every man and his dog has got their own formula. But I think it's just a case of trial and error. But you have to make sure that that sodium persulfate is well and truly dissolved into the water, and that will act as our oxidizing agent to dissolve the copper plate that hasn't got the plastic over it. The plastic toner should protect the copper underneath, and the rest will just dissolve. And gradually you will see, as this time lapse shows, I think we didn't put enough ammonium persulfate in it, to tell you the truth, but you can see the water is starting to turn green now, or a bluish colour, as the copper slowly dissolves away. And the next time we do this, we might heat the plate a little bit more and possibly put a little bit more ammonium persulfate in there, see if we can get this reaction to speed up. So this took what we thought was going to be about 10 minutes, ended up taking roughly 20 minutes. And it's a case of trial and error, as everybody knows. But you can see that the copper is definitely starting to dissolve off, and you can see the water is getting that bluey tinge to it. And hopefully we'll have a nice, clean board left to work with, and we'll just have that plastic toner to remove, and that's a fairly easy job. But yeah, as you can see, it did take a little while. Looking around on the internet, I have seen quite a few people that claim they've got it down to about less than a minute, but I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. But anyway, maybe they have. But definitely the mixture we've got here has just taken in a little bit too long. But this is the first time we've done this particular process, but it does work. It's a little bit slow, but it works. It's quite easy. And there's the finished board after the plastic toner has been removed.